Welcome, 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 everybody. Eating with Food for Thought, Roberts. How you doing? I appreciate you coming in at 3:02. I appreciate you stopping by, saying hello. What's up, Snoogie? How you doing today? How you doing? I think y'all are still hot up there. Yeah, I think you guys are still hot. We're 90 down here right now. 90 degrees and partly sunny. Hey, you reap what you sow. What's going on? How you doing today? What's up, Angel? How you doing today? How you doing today? Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you're having a great day today. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday. I guess it is a great Thursday. Hope you're doing well. Amazing Maisie, how you doing? Appreciate the share out, Sonia. Appreciate that. I'm doing okay, Angel. I'm doing okay. Hope everything's going well over in your part of the world. Sonia says it's in the 80s today. We're 90 degrees over here in South Carolina. 91 here in North Kakalaki. You must be down in the eastern part of the state, Angel, I'm sorry. Down in the eastern part of the state. You must be at least Charlotte or east. Charlotte over east, somewhere in North Carolina. I know you ain't up there in them hills where I'm from. Apex. Yep, I should have known that. Apex. Outside of Raleigh. My office used to be in Clayton. I used to have an office in Clayton. I was up there for about 2 years. I was in Clayton. SC Roots and Refuge Farm is moving your way. What's up, Dragoon Gaming? Maze said it's in the 80s here still, but very humid. Yeah, it's humid here too. We're humid. It's 90 degrees, partly sunny, but it looks like it's getting ready to rain. I think we got 70% chance of rain. Yeah, I know where Apex is. Yeah, I had an office in Clayton for about 2 years. I was up there. What's up? What's everybody up to today? What's up, Dude Love? How you doing today, Dude Love? There's the linky. If anybody wants the linky for the panel, there's the linky for the panel. APAC, Stanford, Ashboro exit. Yep. I hadn't been up there in a while, Angela. Have they finished all that road construction between Durham and Raleigh? Have they finished all that darn road construction yet? Or is it still going on? I-40 was a darn mess, y'all. I-40 was a mess with all that road construction going on. Dragoon Gaming said, just had lunch. Yeah, that darn I-40 was a mess with all that road construction when I was up there. I hadn't been up there in a while now. Nope, they still doing it. I hear you. Yeah, that's a dang mess up there with that road construction. Good God. Sick as heck again. It's getting old. Dang, dude, I thought you were feeling better with that diet you were eating. Yeah, I hated going I-40. I absolutely hated it. when I was up there in Clayton. I-40 is a darn nightmare. A nightmare. But yeah, me and one of the other managers, we rented the company rented us a townhouse in Clayton. So that's where we lived at. We lived in a townhouse in Clayton, and then our office was in Clayton. Me too. I guess I was wrong. I hear you. Hey, How to Garden. How you doing today? Appreciate you coming by. Hope you're having a great day today. Yeah, at least they don't beep like in Florida. No. Nope, they don't. But the crazy thing is, something that should take you, a 20-minute drive could end up taking you an hour with the darn traffic up there. That's the bad part. That's the same thing getting into UNC Chapel Hill, though. In the mornings and the afternoons, Durham's the same way. In the mornings and the afternoons, good God, it's a mess. It's a mess. Not bad, just hiding from the heat. I hear you, How to Garden. Vermont says, hey, Sonia, I tried to date a tennis player once, but love meant zero to her. Dude, you and them dad jokes. You and them dad jokes. Angel over in Apex. Apex is expensive. Apex is expensive. That's why the company got us a townhouse out in Clayton, out in the country. It's cheaper. Apex was expensive. Over in Apex, our company had a construction office in Apex. You got off of I-40, went right, and took the first road to the left. We had our construction office was over there. KK's in the house. Sonia said, how about Bruce? That was a pretty good one. I'll give it to you. Angel says, even Denton. It's like flying in and out of the airport. If you had a flight going out from the airport up there, you had to get there way early just to beat the traffic. Beat the traffic. Hey, Bruce, if girls from the South are called Southern Belles, what are girls from Mexico called? Taco Bells. Oh, my goodness, Sonia. Oh, my goodness, Sonia. Ain't nothing better than a Southern Belle, Sonia. Can't beat them Southern girls. Can't beat them Southern girls or them Southern boys. It's like 38 Special. They made that song called Wild Eyed Southern Boys. Can't beat them. Can't beat them. Angel, that Atlanta traffic's off the chain. Atlanta's off the chain. Even the bypass is off the chain. If you're traveling, I advise anybody to bypass Atlanta, Georgia. I don't care if you got to drive 120 miles out of your way. Bypass Atlanta, Georgia. It's horrible. Okay, How to Garden, thanks. Southern accent. I have it with a mix. What kind of mix? Yeah, I got a mix on my Southern accent too, Angel. It's called hillbilly. It's hard to put a mix on hillbilly. It's hard to do it. I try to speak English, but sometimes I mess up. Like yesterday, I messed up and said something yesterday, and everybody was talking about it. But I try to talk the right way, but sometimes it just don't come out the right way. I like that. Yeah, some people Every now and then I slip up and say something. What did I say yesterday? I can't remember what I said yesterday. Tony Damien was making fun of me about what I said yesterday. I feel you on that one. I hear you. Yeah, I said something yesterday, and Vermont and Jim and Tony Damien were talking about what I said. I don't even remember what it is. Sometimes it just comes out before I think about it. Vermont says every now and then, laugh out loud. Okay, you go with that. What you trying to talk? What you trying to say, Vermont? What you trying to say? I try to speak English. Sometimes old hillbilly roots come out and it don't come out like English. But I'm telling y'all right now, when I first come out of them mountains, y'all would have not been able to understand a word I said. When I went into service, ain't nobody could understand me at all. Oh, I got you, Angel. Ain't no problem with that. There ain't no problem with that. Hey, Aurora, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you coming by. We all know that hillbillies have English as a second language. Now, that's probably the truest statement you've ever typed in the chat, Vermont. That's probably the truest statement you've ever typed in the chat. English is my second language. You're absolutely correct. Sure. Hey, Brandon Jackson, how you doing? Yeah, I'll look at it later. I very seldom check that stuff, but if somebody tells me they send me something, then I'll check it. But I very seldom check it. I got all that, the Twitter and the Instagram and all that, but I very seldom check it. But yeah, I'll check it after the live stream. You speak as well in English as Chrissy Canvas art. Now I can't understand. You know me, Vermont. I can't understand about every third word she says. I cannot understand rubber ducky. I can't understand nothing that woman says. Maybe every third or fourth word. It's like Ally Mac Mechanical from the Highlands of Scotland. I cannot understand but about every fourth word that Ally Mac says. And Gemma Harvey. Between Chrissy Canvas Art, Gemma Harvey, and Ally Mac Mechanical, if you put all three of them together, I'd be lost. I might as well just mute the chat if they were all three on the panel, because I can't understand a word they say. Now, Braveheart Scrapper, Ally Mac's wife, I can understand her, but I can't understand Ally Mac at all. It's like Gemma Harvey. I barely understand Gemma Harvey. And Chrissy Canvas Art's the same way. I can barely understand her. Okie doke. It's funny. You guys know God the Good One? His channel name's God the Good One. I can understand God the Good One, and he's in England. And Lucy Luxor, I can understand her, and she's in England. But some parts of England over there, I can't understand a word to say. You should have CC on sometime. It's funny. It gets so confused. I bet it does. I bet it does get confusing because I get confused trying to listen to it. And like I say, God the Good One, Lucy Luxor, a bunch of those folks, I can understand everything they say. But I guess it's from whatever part of England they're from, or Great Britain, whatever they go by now. I never know if they go by Great Britain or England or UK or whatever they call themselves nowadays. I can't keep track of it. Sounds like a bunch of jibber jabber to me. Jibber jabberish. That's what it sounds like to me. But anyway. So I guess speaking of the UK, Princess Diana would have been 60 years old today, guys. Did y'all see that? I was reading that on my phone today. She would have been 60 years old today. It's amazing, isn't it, to think that? She would have been 60 today. They unveiled a statue of her there at Kensington. Is it Kensington Palace? I think it's Kensington Palace. They unveiled, nobody was there but her two sons and a couple of more people. The Queen didn't go. Prince Charles didn't go. Her two sons, they didn't bring their wives. None of that. It was like a private ceremony. And they unveiled a new statue of her. Oh, I got you, Snooky. Okay, Angel. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you. But yeah, they I guess they unveiled a new statue of Princess Diana today on her birthday. 60 years old today. Thank you. Appreciate it. 60 years old today. To be honest with you, I didn't realize she was that old. I thought she was younger. I thought she was younger than that, but I guess not. I don't know how old Prince Charles is. I know he's a lot older than her, I think. Isn't Prince Charles like in his 70s or something, y'all? I'm not sure how old he is. I think he's pretty old too. KK said, yes, it was beautiful. I saw the statue. Yeah, I guess she worked as a nanny before she got married. And the article I was reading said something about the statue's got a statue of her and a little boy and a little girl. I guess that's from where she was a nanny before she got married. I hear you, Vermont. He's in his 70s. KK said, yes, 73. I thought he was several years older than her. I was thinking he was older than that though, because I didn't think she was that old. I was thinking she was younger, but I guess not. Hey, Maria Cervantes, thank you so much for sharing me out. I appreciate that. Arlene Verdita, appreciate the like and the share. Yeah, I guess TD36, how you doing? Yeah, she was a nanny too, Vermont. Yep, she was a nanny. Hey, Madonna Friedman, how you doing, young lady? How you doing today, Miss Madonna? We got to get Madonna up on the panel. Madonna needs to come up on the panel and be live. TD36 says, I'm good. Glad to hear that. Yep, so far it's okay. So far it's okay, y'all. Vermont, have you seen anything? Have you seen anything about being able to get a vaccination certificate for the prevention shots we just got? Have you seen anything about getting a certificate for proof of vaccination? Madonna, you ready to come up on the panel and say hello to everybody? Come on up, Madonna. Let me drop that linky. There you go, Miss Madonna. Click on that link. Come up here and say howdy to everybody. Glad to have you here, TD36. Appreciate you stopping in and seeing us. Doing great. Checking playgrounds. I have one that gave it to me after number 2. They gave you a certificate, or they just gave you the card? Did they print you out a certificate, dude? I have one. They gave it to me after number 2. They didn't give me no certificate. I was reading about that today. I didn't get no certificate. Me too, Sonia. That's all I got. It's a card. I did not get a certificate. But I was reading an article today that told everybody they need to get the certificate, because so everybody, it said people can copy the card, that you need to have their certificate too. Okay, Miss Madonna. Vermont Paint and Photo says base. Base? What the heck you talking about? The card with the date, and it is the government database. Yeah, I got the card, and it's in the VMS or whatever they call it system. But everybody's saying that you're supposed to get a certificate printed out. And I researched it, and it said they do have a certificate, but it has to be the, I guess the place you got it from's got to print it out. Hey, Positive Vibes, how you doing today? But yeah, a lot of people were talking about it in the article I was reading. It you need to get the certificate printed out. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some figuring on that and find out if that is true or not true about being able to get a certificate. Now, I read several articles that they were talking about a lot of countries around the world won't accept just the card, because they said too many people can fake the card. So everybody's talking about getting that certificate. Certificate. So I might have to do some checking on that to see if you can get one of them things. Got to see if I can do some figuring about checking to see if I can get one of them things. So the doctor yesterday, I had my virtual doctor's appointment. Told me to stop taking one of my prostate medicines immediately. He said that nurse practitioner that I saw at the doctor's office should have told me to stop taking that one prostate medicine immediately when she put me on blood pressure medicine. It's in the CDC website. I can't check. I can't check when I'm on up here. Oh, I got you. It's on the CDC website. But yeah, told me that when she put me on that blood pressure medicine, she should have told me to stop taking the one prostate medicine I was taking. He asked me if I told her what I was taking. I said, yeah. Not only did I tell her, I took the bottles with me when I went and saw her to show her what prescriptions I was taking. And she told me to keep taking everything. But apparently, the one medication I was on with the blood pressure medicine, he said I could be doing fine, and I could be driving down the road. And he said my blood pressure could drop and make me pass out. He said I should have never been taking the one prostate medicine with the blood pressure medicine I was taking. So he took me off of one of my prostate medicines yesterday because of the blood pressure medicine. He said I should have never been taking them both. And I told him, I said, well, I've just been feeling tired and stuff like that. And I told him about how tired I get after eating. And he said that could be part of it. But he said I could be literally be driving down the road in my car, and my blood pressure drop and I'd pass out. So he said, no more. Stop taking it immediately. Hey, Neil Court. Got you, Vermont. Appreciate it. Link in my Instagram. But yeah, so it took me off one of my prostate medicines because of he's worried that my blood pressure could just completely bottom fall out of it. So I said, okay, then. It's kind of nice to know. Makes me wonder now about, I hate to say this, but it makes me worry now about seeing a nurse practitioner versus seeing a real medical doctor, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know. That's what he told me, though, anyway. So NP is not great. Apparently not, Vermont. According to the MD, the NP should have known to stop the one medicine I was taking. Now, to her credit, the NP, I see, the doctor told me yesterday, he said, I could go forever taking both of them, and it might not happen. But he said the chances are there that taking both of them together, I could just black out at any minute. So I stopped taking it yesterday. So anyway, what's everybody up to, guys? It's almost 4th of July weekend. What's everybody up to? How the Garden says, I'm back. Welcome back. Yeah, I guess you're right now. Because I got them all filled at the same pharmacist. I guess the pharmacist should have known that too. Yeah, that's what Neil just said, Vermont. I didn't even think about that. I guess the pharmacist should have caught that too. I don't know. But anyway, I quit taking the one. So I guess I'm good to go now. I guess I'm good to go now. He gave me a 3-month supply of Prilosec, and that's all he would give me. He said if my acid reflux is not better in 3 months, then I'm going to have to go and have more. They put that scope down your throat and do all that, whatever they call that thing. Go down your throat with the camera and the light and all that mess. I ain't never had that done. I know Mom's had it done. Matter of fact, I got to take her the end of this month. I think it is. She's got to have it done again. But he said you shouldn't take that stuff more than 3 months. I've been taking it for a long time. I'm sad. I've been in bed all day, and my wife walked Ted. Guess who was outside? Outside in a bikini, huh? The nanny was outside in a bikini, and you stayed in the bed. Wow. She was probably out there waiting for you to walk Ted. She stood out there all day today waiting on you to walk Ted so she could see you, and you didn't go out there. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should have crawled out there and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I'm sick today, but I crawled out here just to say hello to you." Too cold for that today. Too cold. Hey, Miss Terry Lee Mercer, how you doing today? How cold is it? I'm 90 degrees. It says right now it's 90 degrees where I'm at and rain to stop. And the sun shines out. It says rain to stop. The sun's shining. It ain't raining. So I don't know what's up with that. 72. Dang, you cooled off big time. You cooled off big time compared to yesterday. I know I was reading something today on my phone about New York was telling everybody to shut their air conditioners off today so they don't have any rolling blackouts of power in New York. Just got to feeling well the past two days. I'm glad you're feeling better. Rain's coming. Should be here soon. I hear you. Yeah, I guess they were sending out a warning to everybody in New York to try to save energy today so they didn't have to do those rolling blackouts. It was 55 degrees last night. Good Lord, not us. We were in the upper 70s this morning. It was so humid this morning. It was foggy and hot this morning. Yeah, it was humid and hot here this morning. But it's that time of year. It's that time of year. I'll take the heat over the cold anytime. When I go out and it's humid like that, and I say, "Oh, it's hot and humid," and I think, "Ooh, at least it ain't freezing cold." So that's all I got to say about that. Ooh, I saw something today. Vermont, you're the trivia guy in here. Probably snow for you, Vermont. You're the trivia guy in here, Vermont. Who was offered the role of who was considered for the role or offered the role of Forrest Gump before Tom Hanks? There's an actor that was offered that before Tom Hanks. I did not know that till today. Should be raining in the next few weeks. Yeah, Vermont's the trivia guy. He should know that. But there was somebody offered the role before Tom Hanks was offered the role of Forrest Gump. And everybody said that movie would be so dumb that nobody would watch it. And look at how much money that movie made. It went down as a classic. I've been trying to train it, Nell. Nell, I'm 1,000% better, Nell. I'm 1,000% better the way I talk right now, Nell. When I first left the mountains when I was 18 years old, nobody could understand me now. When I first went in the military, nobody could understand a word I said. But yeah, I've gotten I'm 1,000% better at English now than I was when I first come out of the mountains. Now I got some cousins and such that's still back there in the mountains. If we have a family get together or something like that, sometimes I have a hard time understanding them now. because I've been gone for a long time. My grandson does not understand what it sounds like. I hear you. Bill Murray, John Travolta, and Chevy Chase. I knew John Travolta. I knew John Travolta was offered the role. Chevy Chase. Yeah, I didn't know Bill Murray and Chevy Chase, but I knew that they offered it to John Travolta. And I guess he turned it down because everybody in Hollywood said that movie would not make a dime. It would be a flop. And now look at it. It's like a cult classic. Bill Murray, John Travolta, and Chevy Chase. I'll be honest with you, between Bill Murray, John Travolta, and Chevy Chase, I don't think any one of them could have played that part better than Tom Hanks did. I think Tom Hanks made that movie. Exactly, Vermont. Exactly. Tom Hanks made that movie, in my opinion. I don't think anybody else could have played Forrest Gump any better than Tom Hanks played it. I truly don't. I think he did an outstanding job of playing that part. How to garden, I know how you feel. I worked down in Florida so much, how to garden. I'll be honest with you, how to garden. They couldn't pay me enough money to live in Florida. I love to visit there, the parks and the beaches and stuff like that, but I would not want to live in Florida. I just couldn't do it. It's difficult for me to explain dialects to them because they haven't been enough places. Yeah, Neil, I can understand that. Well, the funny thing is, Neil, when I first went into service, I went to boot camp in Orlando, Florida. When I finished boot camp, my next duty station was San Diego, California. And I was going to school out there, and on the weekends I'd go out, Neil. And honest to goodness, I promise you, this is the truth. People used to buy me drinks just to sit and listen to me talk, Neil, because they had never heard nothing like me in their life. Yep, that's right, Vermont. Yeah, there used to be people who buy me drinks just to listen to me talk because they had never heard nothing like me in their entire life. Now that I look back on it, I don't guess they were making fun of me, but now I will tell you this, Nell. I quit drinking several years ago. Every now and then I'll still have a beer. You know, a couple of years ago when I went on vacation, I had a few beers. But the more I drink, the more my hillbilly accent comes out. Yeah, the more I drink, the hillbilly accent really comes back like it used to be. But I don't drink like that anymore. Yep, my accent is almost gone, but I still understand it. Yeah, I can't. A lot of my cousins, Nell, I can't understand them. I really have to pay close attention and be looking at them to understand what they're saying because a lot of them, I can't understand them no more. I got cousins up there that's never been nowhere. They've all been, uh, they've all been up there and they've never been nowhere. I got people I went to high school with, Nell, that's never left Western North Carolina. They've never been to the beach. They've never left North Carolina. They've never left them mountains. I get that way too. Thank goodness. Yep. Yeah, some of my best friends that I was in high school with, they've never left the mountains ever. They've never left the mountains. Yeah, I still go back up there, Vermont. Uh, like I say, sometimes I'll go up there and see some of my cousins or something like that, but I don't go up. Lord, I hadn't seen some of the friends I growed up with in 20 something years, I guess. It's been 20 something years since I seen any of them. But now I seen it's been about 5 years ago. I seen a bunch of my cousins. When my stepdad passed away, they come down and visited with mom, and a bunch of my uh, female cousins came down and visited with us. But now one of them's just straight up. I mean, country, 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 country. Yeah, my cousin Janet, she's straight up, growed up on an apple farm. They raise apples, and she's as country comes. His cousin, same as in laws, kind of, sort of, Vermont, kind of, sort of. The Here's the problem with up home, y'all. Here's the problem with up home. People live back up in some of them hollers up there. Their great grandparents, their grandparents, their parents, and now all them, they all growed up in the same holler. They own the same land that the great grandparents had. A lot of them do logging, a bunch of them do farming or raising cattle and stuff like that. And they just barely get by, but they don't know no different. They don't know any different. They don't want to know any different. They like being left alone, and just that's what they do. They keep left alone. They don't want to be bothered with nothing. The problem with up home is a bunch of people from up north and a bunch of people from Florida have come in up there and bought up all the land. They bought up a bunch. They'll go in there and buy a mountain. The next thing you know, they build houses on stilts up there on the side of the mountains. So it's a lot of them old folks up there sold off a bunch of that land. Yeah, just leave them alone. That's all they want. They don't want to be bothered with nothing. I had problems with people up north, now. People from the Midwest, I didn't have that much problem. I had problem with people from up north because I'd never heard nobody talk that fast. And when I got out to California, it was the same way out in California because I'd never heard a Hispanic accent. And the people in California, to me, talked weird. I had a problem with California, and I had a problem with people from up north. I couldn't understand them when I first went in the military. Now, the Midwest people, to me, didn't have an accent, so I didn't have that much problems with them. But it's funny because when we were in the military, the Southern guys kind of hung out with the Southern guys, and the Northern guys hung out with the Northern guys on board in the service. Now, once I got on board the submarine, some of my best friends were from up north. What's up, Adventures in the Heartland? How y'all doing today? I hear you, How to Garden. Yeah, when I got on board the submarine, my first class petty officer that was in charge of the what we call the radio gang, all the radiomen, him and his wife were from Massachusetts. And another one of my buddies, there was a radioman. His name was Ray Gavin. Ray Gavin. He was from somewhere in New Jersey. I was the only Southerner, and there was a radioman. All the rest of them were from up north. Hey, Daggin Hills, what's up, buddy? How you doing today? Yeah, I was the only Southerner that was a radioman in the Radio Shack on board the submarine. Everybody was from up north. Now, one of my best friends, his name was Mike Rock, and another one, he was from Tennessee, and another one of my good friends on the submarine was named Steve Cockerham. He was from Louisiana. No, I wasn't no radio announcer. We know you can't understand people from Jersey. Yeah, I had a hard time understanding a lot of them people from up north. But now all the guys from the Midwest, I can understand them just fine. Because to me, they didn't have accents. What in the world is that great big old word you used right there, Nell Court? We have many, whatever that big old long word is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nell Court's going to throw a 13-letter word at the hillbilly. I ain't never seen or heard that word in my life. What's up, Anthony? In our family, because of the Scottish heritage, but my kids don't understand it. No, it don't, Daggin Hills. I can't sing a thing. Sayings. Okay. It means sayings. We still have many sayings in our family because of the Scottish heritage, but my kids don't understand it. I got you. Yeah, throw a big old word like that at the hillbilly. I ain't never seen or heard that word in my life. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Dang, I'd have to go to college for about 10 years to understand big old words like that, like holler or taters and maters. I hear you, Daggin Hills. Hey, Angel, welcome back. Yeah, I'd have to go to college for 10 years to learn that big old fancy words like that. Hey, Crystal Pets and Plants, how you doing? My grandfather used to say, that's one of them $99 words right there. That's a $99 word. I ain't never seen no word like that before. Everybody thinks I always joke about stuff like that, but I'm telling you right now, I ain't never seen a word like that. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Huh. Yeah, I ain't never seen that. See you, How to Garden. Thank you so much for stopping in and visiting it. Daggin Hills always try to help me. Colloquially is M's. I ain't got a word. I ain't got a clue, dude. I'll just leave it at sayings. It's a teacher word. I hear you, Nell Court. Yeah, I can understand sayings. I can't understand no big old long word like that. Daggin Hills does that to me too, y'all. Daggin Hills does that to me too when he's cooking stuff or talking about food. He uses them big old fancy words, and he knows good and well that I don't understand it. Can you believe it costs more than a quarter for air in your tires now? It's like 125 now. While that's inflation. Yeah, 125. It's $1.50 for the air machine down here. It's 150, I think is what it is to use the air machine down here. But most time ours stays broke all the time. There goes Sonia trying to tell me how to do it. I'll just stick with sayings, Sonia. Sayings. I was writing Hawaiian words, laugh out loud. Yeah, you speaking some kind of language? I don't know what it is. Yeah, Dagnill's always using them big fancy words when he's talking about food and cooking and stuff. God. Yeah, I ain't got a clue, y'all. I still can't pronounce that word. I ain't even gonna try to pronounce that word. Well, ours, Daggin Hills, you have to put your debit card in it. Ours don't even take money no more. You have to use your debit card or charge card down at the convenience store to get air. Yeah, they don't even have a coin thing no more. You have to swipe your credit card or your debit card to get air for your tires. See, I can say tires now. I used to say tars. Look at them tars on that car. Nowadays, I can say tires. See how much I've improved? I don't say tars no more. I say tires. I got you now. Yeah, I used to say tars. Now I say tires. See how much better I'm getting? I'm getting educated. I got you, dagging him. I've been working on my education. That's because you have those big city teeth in. I hear you, Vermont. Of course, that our fuel is $3.58. Ours went back down to $2.79. Ours went back down to $2.79 a gallon. It jumped up to $2.99, and now we're back down to $2.79. Yeah, I guess the new thing nowadays is you're supposed to whisper everything. It makes everything better if you whisper. So you're supposed to whisper when you're explaining something nowadays. I guess it's more important if you whisper. 285 here. Dang, I got smacked by Nell again. Sorry. Sonia says, "Oh, Madonna, where are you?" That wouldn't work because he sucks. I hear you, Daggin Hills. Dang, brother, tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel, brother. I think that 2022 is going to be an interesting year for this country, y'all. 2022 is going to be an interesting year for this country. I truly do. I think it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. So Vermont, Mr. Trivia Master knows everything about everything. I got a question for you. On that test that they give them, like they gave the last president, what kind of questions is on that thing? They say it starts out easy and it gets harder as it goes along. That's right, Neil. I guess the questions start out easy and then they get harder and harder and harder, but I don't know what, I wonder what the darn questions are. It's still working, Miss Terry Lee Mercer. Just not as effective. It's a little less effective, but it's still working against the bad one right now. I know one thing, that fella sure does love ice cream. He must be like Vermont. He must have stock in the ice cream company because he sure does like ice cream a lot. Every time I see him, he's eating ice cream. I'm not sure anyone but a president ever knows what they say. I think this one has a phone a friend. I hear you. I had to watch the news attack the president daily for years, and now this moron, they ignore all of his incompetence. I think they should all have to take that test, y'all. I mean, that's just me. That's my opinion. Y'all know I don't like to talk politics, but I think if anybody's going to be the president and have the codes and the power that that person has, I think they should all have to take that test to make sure that everything's working up here. I mean, the guy that sits in that chair, he's got to have a pretty good noggin on his shoulders. A pretty darn good noggin. I mean, I'll take it even further than that, y'all. When when I went to sub school, we had to take a test. We had to take a test in sub school about pushing that button. They give you questions and they'd give you like 5 or 6 answers and all this different stuff. And if you didn't pass those psychiatric tests they gave us in sub school, you couldn't go on submarines back in 1980. I don't know what it's like now, but back in 1980, we had to take all those psychiatric tests uh, before you could continue on in the submarine force. I think everybody should have to take those. You have to take a test to work any place. Yeah, but Vermont, I'm talking about like one of the questions would be, would you push the button? Very likely, a little bit likely, likely, not likely, extremely not likely thing. And then they'd give you scenarios like, would you push the button? And the answer would be, if the United States was attacked, if somewhere in the United States was attacked, if your state was attacked, if your hometown was attacked, if your family members were attacked. That was a lot of the questions that were on there. Yeah, they got deep inside your head on a lot of that testing. Then we had to go meet psychiatrists. We had to get evaluated by psychiatrists. All kinds of stuff just to go into the submarine force. It's kind of weird. because I'd never sat down with no psychiatrist or anything like that. But we all had to go meet with them, and they would ask us all kinds of questions. None of that. You look at the colored dots and you see a dog or a cat. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking like real world questions, how you would respond to different things. It was kind of weird. But I'll be back in just a minute, y'all. Give me just a minute. I got to take a quick break. I'll be right back. The back to what I was talking about a while ago, y'all, about submarines. Back in 1980, they didn't have videos you could watch. They used to get you to sign up for different things based off your test scores. They give you that test, that ASVAB test or whatever it was back in the day. So when I first joined the Navy, I wanted to be a Navy diver. I loved the water. I could hold my breath a long time, all that stuff. I was really physical fit. I wanted to be a Navy diver. So they sent us down to Charlotte, North Carolina. You take that ASVAB test thing. And after we all took the test and everything, they tried to talk me into going into nuclear power school for submarines. And I asked them, I said, how hard is that? And back then it was like a 93% failure rate of people flunking out of the nuclear power school they were holding it down in Charleston, South Carolina. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. So instead of doing that, they offered me, 2.5 years worth of schooling to become a submarine electronics tech or radioman / electronics tech. But they don't show you a video of everything that you got to do in sub school. And good God Almighty, we got in sub school. The worst thing that we did in sub school is they put 8 of us in this diving bell, this steel container. And they take you down 100 feet. And it's pressurized. So you're in there and you're all like this. So it's pretty claustrophobic when they take you down in this bell 100 foot under the water. Well, then they open a valve and they start flooding this bell inside of it. And they fill it right to the chin of the shortest person that's in the tank at that time. And you talking about spooky. I'm telling you right now, y'all, I'd never been in a situation where I was claustrophobic before. But I'm telling you right now, that was probably the hardest thing that we did. We had a lot of people flunked out over that. And what they did is once they filled it to the lowest person, they opened up this hatch and you had to put on what's called a stanky hood. It was a hood you put on. And they filled it full of air, and then you had to make an escape out the doorway. You had to get down in the water, go out the hole, and then you start going to the surface, and you have to yell ho, 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 all the way up, getting the air out of your lungs. And they had divers stationed at different depths to reach out and grab you and slow you down as you made the ascent up from 100 feet. All right, Mr. Terry Lee Mercer. But I'm telling you right now, getting stuck in a tank and you're already like this, and then they fill it full of water up to the chin of the shortest person in the tank. That's the worst thing. That's probably one of the worst things I ever done in my life. That was rough. It made the rest of the schooling pretty easy. But that diving bell, making that escape, that was scary. I hear you, Dagenhill. Dude, it had never bothered me either. But I'd never been in that situation. But I'm telling you right now, that crap, that's probably the hardest thing I ever done in my life. Because that was rough. That was rough. Like I say, a lot of guys flunked out of that. They couldn't pass the diving bell. A lot of guys flunked out of the schooling that we had to take, but a lot of people flunked that diving bell. There's the second meanest woman on the internet. I mean, hey SF Rose, how you doing? Meanie Mappa, thank you so much for sending all these people over. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're right, Vermont. Yes, Daggett Hills. We lost a lot of people off the submarine. We lost a lot of people off the submarine, dude. The doc, the corpsman, Tony Damien's the Wicked Witch of the West, SF Rose. When I say mean, I mean mean to me. SF Rose, I want you to read that right there. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can get it. See what Vermont Paint put in the chat that day? It's SF Rose's fault. See what he put? Vermont Paint and Photo typed, it's SF Rose's fault. Something I was talking about that day. Oh, I know I'm the problem, SF Rose. I'm always the problem. But I just wanted you to see that I was able to get a screenshot of that before he deleted it. Whatever I was talking about that day, he blamed it on you. He blamed it on you, SF Rose. That wasn't what we were talking about, was chicken. That wasn't what we were talking about. It's okay. Vermont Paint is awesome. Yeah, I saw he won the money on the membership. I saw he won the money on the membership giveaway. Yeah, right. you keep on believing that. You keep on believing that. SF Rose, you want to come on the panel? Come on the panel, SF Rose. She didn't say she was going to pluck you. She said something about putting you in the backyard 6 feet under. No? What do you mean, no? Don't be telling me no. I'm in bed, she says. Ain't you as bad as Tony Damien. 4:37 in the afternoon and in the bed. I need to stay in the bed too. Try to get some beauty sleep. I need some beauty sleep. Maybe, but I was being polite. She said much worse. Yeah, I need to get some beauty sleep. So what's going on in New Jersey? You're not feeling well? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, SF Rose. I'll put the voodoo doll back in the closet, SF Rose, so you'll feel better. I'll put it back up in the closet so you'll feel better, SF Rose. Vermont will have to retract the zingers. I hear you, Daniels. I ain't spending money on that no more. I ain't spending money on no haircuts no more. I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna do it. I'm just gonna let it grow. Okay, I did, Dagenils. I forgot. I can't pick on the old people. Yeah, you can't be picking on Dagenhills, Vermont. He's old. He's not as old as you are, but he's old. Took TR to the airport, came back and rested. Now, where did TR go? Where did he go? I didn't know my buddy was going somewhere. I didn't know my buddy was going somewhere. Wait a minute. What's he doing? What's he doing going to the airport and you're not going with him? That's the $99 question. He's going to Florida. Why is he going to Florida and you're not going to Florida? Oh, you're going Saturday. Vermont says to visit Tony in Texas. Nope. You're going Saturday? I'd like to go to Disney World, y'all. I heard things have changed a bunch since I've been there. I'd like to go to Disney World again. I'm a big kid. I'd like to go to Disney World. I'd like to go to Universal. Is it Universal Studios? Yeah. That Harry Potter ride. That's the greatest ride I've ever been on in my life. That virtual ride of Harry Potter's. That is the greatest ride I've ever been on in my life. He has a gig and there's rehearsals, so they need to be there early. I got you. Yeah, that Harry Potter ride at Universal Studios, that's the best ride I've ever been on in my life. The Soaring ride, it's called Soaring, it's pretty good. But that Harry Potter ride was awesome. I'm beyond old, ain't you? I see people on TV and think they're old as dirt, and then they're my age. I hear you, Daggin Hills. He's not in that part of Florida this time. I got you. A few hours from Disney. Yeah, I like Soaring at Disney. I liked the Simpsons ride at Disney, at MGM. And then, but my favorite ride of all was the Harry Potter virtual ride at Universal Studios. I was doing pretty good, SF Rose, till day before yesterday. I took it upon myself to eat a Baby Ruth candy bar and a Butterfinger candy bar. That didn't work out well for me. Snoring, no, soaring. Soaring. SF Rose says Fort Lauderdale Airport. I flew out of Fort Lauderdale Airport. I flew out of there, and when I went to Minnesota, I flew from out of Fort Lauderdale, left my company vehicle in storage, and I flew up to Minneapolis, Minnesota one time for a couple of months, and then flew back into Fort Lauderdale, picked up my company vehicle. I left Fort Lauderdale and drove straight through to Houston, Texas. Yeah, it was not the thing to do, SF Rose. My mouth's still hurting. My mouth is still hurting from trying to eat that hard Butterfinger and those peanuts in that Baby Ruth. Why did it take the A out, Keaton? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, dude? Why did it take the A out, Keaton? Yeah, it wasn't worth it, SF Rose. That won't happen again. That was a one-time deal. I won't do that again. I'll stick with the granola bars. I can eat granola bars. Yeah, I won't try to eat any of those candy bars. Those days are over. I give up trying to eat those. Time to switch to Hermit cookies and soft chew food. Yeah, I can eat a Milky Way, Dag Mills. It's just with the Baby Ruth, that caramel in the Baby Ruth, my teeth stuck together. But I can eat granola bars. I can chew the granola bars. Ignore me. It's okay. Time to switch to hermit cookies and soft chew food. Oh, I asked Dwayne your question the other night if I'm as mean to him as I am to you. And he said, I'm always nice. For the many years he's been friends with me. Boy, he sucks up as much as Vermont paint does. Holy cow. Remind me to send Dwayne a box of tissue so he can wipe his nose. I already sent Vermont a whole case. So I guess I'll have to send Dwayne a box of tissue to wipe his nose with then. Yep, that's what I need to do. Nah, that ain't happening, Daggin Hills. That ain't happening, dude. And Dwayne is famous, you know. Well, I know he's famous. I know he's famous. In the dark side of the world, I'm famous too. That's not what he said, laugh out loud. He said they have had their trials. I hear you, Vermont. Vermont said you didn't tell the truth, SF Rose. Vermont said that's not what he said, laugh out loud. He said they have had their trials. Wow. 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 Now the truth comes out. Vermont says, I pay attention. Wow. Yeah, sometimes I don't think SF Rose listens well. She listens to women when women talk to her, but when men talk to her, she don't listen well. There seems to be an issue with that. She doesn't listen to men. She don't listen to me at all. And I give her good advice all the time. Honestly, Dwayne and I have never had an argument in the 10 years I know him. $10. Mont wasn't paying close enough attention. He was laughing. Famous Amos lost his whole company. He sold off percentage until he had one left. Daggin Hills, speaking of that, did you know that Colonel Sanders never owned his own restaurant? He had a restaurant in an old country store. And after that, he traveled and sold his recipe to different restaurants and he got a kickback from it, but he never owned a KFC restaurant. Did you know that? He's actually a really good friend, very loyal. Wow, you got a friend? Wow. I need to see if I can get me one of them, a friend. I need a friend. Not like half the people. I need to find me a friend. SF Rose, he was laughing the whole time and he likes chicken. Yeah, I need to get me a friend. He's actually a great friend. How much does that cost you every month, SF Rose? How much does that cost every month? So I can see if I can afford to get a great friend. How much does that cost you every month? I know him many years before I met TR. That's one of my married people jokes. The wife says, you never pay attention. The husband says, I pay more than that. I don't know if he was really a colonel or not, Daggin Hills, but I know he started in a old country gas station and he served chicken. And then they built in like a new road. So his country store didn't make it. And he went on the road and he sold the recipe and he got a percentage of sales from different restaurants. And, but he never owned a KFC restaurant. They sell them on eBay, Hillbilly. They come with a pump. I listen to Jim. We aren't married. You don't listen to Jim, Snooky. You don't listen to Jim. Chicken or salmon? I ain't eating no salmon. My friendship with Dwayne is priceless. Well, how much does it cost you every month to pay him? I'm trying to get an idea how much it costs, SF Rose. Get married so you can take everything he has. I don't pay him. He pays me. Wow. She has no choice. She lost her earplugs. Wow. I don't pay him. He pays me. My mom said, calm down, Hillbilly. I'm calm. I'm calm. Vermont says, wait, what? I can just picture the look on Vermont's face right now. Yeah, I bet. You know, that'd probably be a pretty good that'd probably be a pretty good business to open up. Rent a friend. That's a great idea I just come up with. Rent a friend. If you want to go to the ball game or something, you just dial up 1-800 rent a friend. Vermont says, so Brenda Land and SF Rose both work. Wow. Wow, Vermont. Wow. Yeah, I'll open up a rent a friend store. He was made an honorary colonel. I got you. I ain't got no friends, SF Rose. I never had time to make friends. I was always working. My friend was work. I worked 7 days a week for the last 25 years. I ain't got no friends. I'm talking about friends that comes over to my house, or I go over to their house, or we go to ball games together or stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about friends. I'm not talking about getting to know people on YouTube or talking outside of YouTube. I'm talking about people that live where you live at. It's like people ask me, say, what's your neighbors like? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I said, I ain't never seen my neighbors. Never been here till 2 years ago. It's free. Yeah. Yeah. My friend's Stormy the wild dog. He sits out back and rocks in the chair on the deck. Yeah. People ask me all the time, said, what about what you get along with your neighbors? Well, first off, I got no neighbors close. And second off, I hadn't been here enough to even think about meeting the neighbors. I have no idea who the neighbors are. YouTube is friendly strangers. I hear you, Dagnills. SF Rose says YouTube is fake friends. Some of them are, SF Rose. Some of them are. But the biggest majority of the people that come into my live streams all the time, I consider them friends, not fake friends. Because we sit here and talk every day. Yeah, you want to get along with the nanny. You want to get along with the nanny, Vermont, is all it is. But yeah, a lot of people on YouTube are fake, SF Rose. They're on here for one thing, try to grow their channels, make money, And then they forget all about who you are. There's a lot of them on here that way. A lot of them, it's all about them, all about them. I have a great neighbor. All the new ones are horrible. Yeah, I have basically the same people every day, SF Rose, and I consider all them, good YouTube friends. But yeah, there's a bunch of them that are fake. Only time you hear from them people is when they want you to do something for them or give them money. Did you know the one across the street is blonde and blue-eyed also? No, I didn't know that, Vermont. I did not know that, Vermont. I don't have neighbors across the street from me. SF Rose puts me out here on the dirt road kicking rocks almost every day. Every time she sees me, she puts me out here on the dirt road kicking rocks. But the only thing I got in front of the house is a 136-acre field. I got a question for you, Vermont. I saw something today that I've never seen in my life. Yep. I did not know that you could do this with a PTO, Vermont, but I saw something today that I've never seen in my life, dude. They had the big John Deere tractor, the 6-wheel John Deere tractor out here plowing the field today. This was a different disc hair than the normal one they got. This one was only a 12-footer. This one was only a 12-footer. All right. It had a 12-foot disc on the right side in the front, a 12-foot wide disc on the left side front. Then it had 2 big tires on the disc. And then behind that, it had a 12-foot row of disc and another 12-foot row of disc. But when he got through discing, I watched him, and the outside pieces of both discs raised up in half, and the 6-foot pieces on each side raised up like this, and then the whole disc raised up, and it was sitting on the 2 tires. I didn't know that from a PTO that you could make disc fold in half like that. So instead of 12-foot wide, it went from 6 foot on this side to 6 foot on this side. And the 2 end piece, the 4 end piece 6 foots folded up in half. And he never got off the tractor. And then the whole disc raised up, and it had 2 tires, and he took off down the dirt road. I didn't know you could do that with a PTO on a tractor. I didn't know they made such things. Yes, the new one on the farm does that, so it drives down the road easier. It's all hydro. Yeah, I didn't know they made stuff. We didn't have stuff like that when I was on the farm. But yeah, that bad boy, both 6 foot out on all 4 of them folded up in the air, and then the whole thing raised up, and the 2 tires, the weight went on the 2 tires, and down the road the tractor went pulling the disc hair. It's pretty neat watching that. It don't take much to amaze old dumb hillbilly in the country. That's called farm equipment, Carolina. Chariots aren't used anymore. I hear you, dude. Yeah, I didn't know they could do all that fancy stuff. But I tell you what, Vermont, hydro plugs in the PTO shaft, and you can plug in a bunch of attachments. I got you. That's what one of our big farmers has with the hydraulics on the back to fold up. Pretty cool. Yeah, Madonna. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Dang, I lost my train of thought. Oh, Vermont. Dude, that John Deere, that 6-wheel John Deere, when he would come up on the end, and then when he was going to turn around and go back the other way, that PTO was strong enough on that big John Deere that it raised the whole attachment off the ground, and he was able to turn the tractor around and then set it back down. That's a big old John Deere tractor, brother. One here has a swing mode also. It goes all to one side if you want. Oh, heck. But yeah, the hydraulics and everything on that John Deere is strong enough to where when he would get to the end to turn around and go back the other way, it raised that whole disc air completely off the ground. And he would turn around and then drop it back down and take off the other direction. That thing's got to be heavy. But it is a big old tractor. I don't know what size that John Deere is, but it's big. It's one of them ones, I guess it's got, the doors that close and all that. He's probably got an air conditioner in there and a radio and all that in there with him, I guess. It's pulled by the K6x6. I got you. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Don't take much to amaze the old hillbilly out here in the middle of the day watching the tractor plow the field. Sure wished we'd had things like that when I was growing up as a kid. Could sure got things done a lot quicker. Because it didn't take him but just a little while to do as far as you could see. That's a tractor that is articulating like a loader. I guess that means that the back works like a loader does in the front, is what you're trying to say. The paint was already dry. Yep, that's it, Dagenills. The paint was already dry. I guess that's what he means. Vermont using a big old fancy word. That's a tractor that is articulating like a loader. I'm assuming he means a loader goes up and down. So I guess on that John Deere, it can make stuff in the back go up and down. I guess is what he's trying to say. Bends in the middle, Vermont said. Why didn't you just say bends in the middle? Yeah, he's using them fancy words now too, Dagenills. He could have just said it's like a loader. It bends in the middle. He could have just said bends in the middle instead of articulating. Articulating. I guess I need to start keeping my pen and paper and writing all this fancy words down like a bucket loader. There, why didn't you just say that to start with? That's exactly right, Dagenills. He went out and bought edible paint, dude. He went out and bought edible paint. I found we just had a Farmall tricycle type and a 1-row corn picker. I got to be in the trailer behind the picker and got the hell beat out of me by the corn. I hear you, Madonna. That's the way I was spreading cow manure, Madonna. We had one of the old-timey Tine manure spreaders, and sitting on the tractor, I ended up with more cow manure on me than I got in the field. It threw cow manure everywhere. I'd get more on me than I got in the field. They have that book already. It's called a dictionary. Yeah, but I don't want to read the dictionary. Boy, that'd be boring. Sit down and read the dictionary. Vermont used to do that. He used to read encyclopedias and dictionaries. But of course, back then it was all chiseled on cave walls. So he didn't have nothing else to do but read it because it was all chiseled on the cave walls. If you want to watch a great video, watch demo derby with combines. I hear you. Edible vegan paints. Yep, that's what he's got. Dagging Hills. He never talked about it, and I never heard him say anything about buying them until the people moved in next door. And now he went and bought it. Yes, I did, for real. There you go. That is a fun time, learning new words. Yeah, but Vermont was able to learn new words on the cave walls, between the paintings and the carvings on the wall. That's why he knows all this stuff. He's been around for 3,055 years. He keeps messing with that nanny. He ain't gonna make it to 3,056. I hear you. I wouldn't either, Daggin Hills. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, dude. I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. Oh, if anybody out there, any of you folks out there, SF Rose didn't even tell me bye. I just noticed she's not talking in the chat no more. She didn't even say goodbye. See how mean she is to me? She didn't even say goodbye. But anyway, if any of you folks had a grandfather in World War II, if they were over in Japan and they brought back any of those swords as souvenirs, you might want to get them checked out, y'all, because some of them swords are bringing a pretty penny. Even the ones that aren't in great shape are bringing a lot of money. KK said learning is fun. Ooh, KK. I quit learning a long time ago. But yeah, if anybody got any of their old grandparents' old swords, if they brought them back from Japan in World War II, they're worth some money. My grandfather was in World War One. Yeah, I didn't realize even the ones that are in bad shape are worth a pretty penny, y'all. Exactly, Vermont. I did not know that. I did not know that until today. I found that out today, that a lot of, when the U.S. occupied Japan, they made them turn in all the sword blades. So what they did is a lot of them took out the metal blades, turned those in, and they actually put on wooden blades. And they kept the sheaths and the handles, but they had a wooden blade because the United States took the actual metal blades off of their swords. Mine was WW1, KK said. My uncle sent my mom some porcelain dolls from Japan decades ago. Ah, I got you, Daggin Hills. I did. I watched too much TV. Yeah, I saw that today. I was watching that today. I did not know that. And also, did you know, Vermont, that some of those wooden swords that are in the sheaths, there's a hidden compartment. Like there's a slide in that goes in and out of the blade, hidden blades, where you can hide money in the tray that slides in and out. I didn't know that either till today. I learned that today. I did. I bought a big old set of fancy china when I got to Japan in 1983. 1983, when we switched home port back to Sasebo, Japan. We got Navy housing. I bought a whole set of that fancy Japanese china. My first ex-wife, I gave that to her because I didn't want it. I have a walking stick that holds a vial of booze. Dang, that's good for the games, Daggin Hills. The end cap was screw on. Yeah, walking stick that'd be a good thing to have for the football or baseball games, dude. Or concerts. That would have been good back in the day for the concerts. Of course, back then they'd have probably been wondering what a 17 or 18-year-old kid's coming in a concert carrying a walking cane for. I'd have probably got caught. But anyway, now my computer's changed. It said it's 88 degrees, rain coming. Yeah, it's getting dark outside. That's what it was used for. Some prince in England was a drunk and had to hide it. I got you. There was one worth almost $1 million. He was famous for making them for empire leaders. I was trying to think of the name of that, Vermont. I was trying to think of the name of that dude that made those. If you got one of those swords, they're like priceless. But I can't remember the guy's name. Illegal to buy here. Sonia said it's raining there now. I want to. What keeps popping in my mind, Vermont, is Hoshu, something shoe sword. I think those are supposed to be. He was supposed to be the good guy. Something shoe. I can't think of his. I want to say Hoshu. I don't know. My brain don't work right no more. I can't remember nothing. But he was supposed to be the best that there was. He's the one of the ones where you could throw a scarf up in the air and hold the blade out, and as the scarf floated down, it would cut it in half. 66, Daggin Hill says. Wow. Horseshoe, Daggin Hill said. No, not horseshoe. Henshoe, Hoshoe, something. I can't remember. Daggin Hill's Kill Bill had some nice swords in that movie. Tap dancing shoe. I don't remember. Kamakuri is the most valued one. Ah, okay. One worth 418,000. Kamakura. I don't remember them talking about that one. The one I'm thinking of, I think they kept saying a lot of them are something shoe. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. I thought I was wrong one time, but I was wrong. But anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody coming by. Lord, we've been on here almost 2 hours. I better get off from here and see what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. We had leftovers last night, so I'll probably have to fix something tonight. I don't know what it's going to be. But anyway, I appreciate everybody coming by. They were selling Kill Bill swords with David Carradin's autograph before he died. You know, Daniels, I heard he died pretty much broke, dude. I heard he died pretty much broke. Masahimoshu Kamakura. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. It was his first name. It was something Shu. I knew there was a Shu in there somewhere. But yeah, I think he died pretty much broke, didn't he, Daggin Hills? When he started making that Kill Bill and all that stuff, he was just trying to make a dollar, brother. From what I heard. Masha shoe. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. I know it has a shoe in there somewhere. But anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody coming by today. He was in Thailand for some cheap movie. Yep. Yeah, they say he was hurting for money, dude. He was hurting for money. But guys, I appreciate y'all stopping by. I truly do, as always. Appreciate you coming in and visiting with us. I appreciate you. As far as I know, I don't have any doctor stuff tomorrow. So we should be back on tomorrow, as far as I know. But I appreciate you. Everybody be safe, be good to yourself, and be good to each other. And I'll try my best to see everybody tomorrow. See y'all. Thanks for coming.